Woo! Hey, man, we back. Another episode of Keep It in the Act. You know, been a minute, about a month and a half. You see who we got with us, man. We got Clark Kent, Peter Parker, whatever you want to say, bro. We got Cale back, man. Bro, been going for a little bit. We don't know where he been. I'm going to insert the clip now. But, yeah, shout out to Cale for being here. I got Donovan in the middle right next to me on my right. A lot has happened. You know, Bron nearly got swept. Darvin, he gone. NFL draft happened. Joel Embiid lost another playoff series. We ain't gonna talk about the Bucks because Giannis and Dame really ain't even play. But you know, it's just good to be here. Good to be back here for another episode. Didn't appreciate the love y'all been showing us. Instagram followers been up. Shout out Patrick Queen for messing with us, man. Put us on the IG story. We really appreciate that. PQ, man, hopefully we can get you on the pod since you in Pittsburgh now. We'll come to you. It doesn't even matter. Pittsburgh really ain't that deep. But yeah, we here and starting off, you know, actually, let's start with Bronny, to be honest. How y'all feel about that with Bronny entering the draft / transfer portal?
I don't know. I feel like it definitely gives him options.
Yeah.
I don't know like what his idea is of like where he wants to go necessarily. I know he's looking at Duquesne because LeBron's his former high school teammate now got the job there. Also, I think he was looking at Ohio State and Duke as well. I don't think he should go there, if I'm being honest. I think that's too above his level. Yeah,
it should be O State or what's it called? The other one. Yeah, it should be one of those. I thought he should have went to O State out of high school, to be honest, especially just because like they haven't had really a playmaker since Malachi went to the draft. And I feel like he could have played that same role, even though I think Malachi's a little bit taller than he is. But I mean, definitely, and he's a little bit more offensively gifted than Bronny is, as terms of like scoring and all that type of stuff. But I still think that he definitely could have been the guy, you know, like a 12, 13 point per game scorer, good defense, like two and a half steals, you know, maybe some blocks in there, that type of stuff. Definitely would have made all Big Ten on defense.
Yeah, he's not going to be like, he's not going to carry the team. He's just going to be like that all around guy, kind of like
people just want him to be his dad so much, but he's not his dad. Yeah. I think he has an NBA game though. I don't know if he's an NBA player right now, but his game definitely does translate to the NBA.
Yeah. I feel like the person that really comes to mind just based off like you see his stat line, like kind of what he did in high school and also college, kind of just like I know it's not like an exact comparison, but like a Draymond role where he just does a little bit of everything, and just throws a bunch of stat lines out there. I mean, I know Draymond.
I could see him being like Drew Holiday too.
Yeah.
Especially like Drew Holiday when he was first coming in. I know Drew made All-Star when he like year 2 or 3. Not that Drew, but like Drew like when he first came in. Probably not as good of a passer though. I wouldn't go that far, but either Drew or who else can I really think of? Even actually the role Gary Payton Jr. played for the Warriors. That's something true. Bronny could do as well. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. I feel like people just want to see his dad too much. That's really the only problem. And you got to give the kid a break. His heart literally stopped. Like, come on now. Like, cardiac arrest is not a joke at any age. Like, it takes a while for you to get your legs back under you, especially when you're at that high of of athletics. Like, it takes a while to get back. And he didn't go through any of the spring workouts because of his heart. Like, it's not like he had no prior training. Like, he'll be all right.
And also, like, if you kind of look at, I feel like Duquesne, he might not. I mean, he might develop a little bit better just because of like the coaching and stuff. But like Ohio State, they extended their interim head coach, and they're starting to bring in a lot of prospects.
Yeah, still. I did see that.
So I think that has a lot to do with kind of like where the program's heading, but also a lot of NIL. I mean, if I'm a recruit right now and I see that their interim head coach is going to be their head coach, I'm going to want to go somewhere else, like if I want coaching. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a 50-50. I think that those are the two schools he's deciding between.
We'll see what he does. Definitely think he should come back for another year. Just because, what are you going to? It's either, all right, get drafted, go to the G League, you die in the G League, or you can go back to college, you can develop one more year, and then you can come in and you can have probably be in the rotation at some point. Don't be saying crazy minutes, but like at least you know that you'll be on the team and you're not going to be a G League player that, okay, we'll sign you to a two-way because your name's LeBron James Jr., but you're never actually going to be a two-way.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be like maybe a 6-man off the bench for like Ohio State. For just like Duquesne, I think he'll have a bigger role almost.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, I'm hoping, just like in my personal opinion, I probably would speak for a lot of others on this, is the fact that he should go back and develop his game another year, because it's kind of tough to see him have to deal with all the pressure and then like, I don't know, and then you look at his dad and
Bron come back to Cleveland though. Let's run it back one last time.
Please
sign and trade. We gonna sign and trade D-Mitch to the Lakers, and we getting Bron back. And then, matter of fact, we drafting Bronny with the last pick of the draft. We getting the last pick in the draft. We bringing Bronny to Cleveland too.
Yeah, I think I was actually talking about this somewhere else, but like in terms for like both of you guys, what do you see like in this order, like of these 3 events? What do you see like from most likely to least likely? He stays with the Lakers, re-signs. He leaves the Lakers and goes somewhere else, or he retires.
I mean, as far as retirement goes for Bron, I think that's least likely. Okay. Even though I think it's coming though. Yeah, I think truthfully and honestly, we only have 1 season left with LeBron.
Okay.
The only way we have to is if Bronny does say he comes back to school, he does get drafted next year. That's the only way we have 2 years left with Bron. But I think next year is the last year, just because you got to look at everything that's like going on. Like,
right,
dude, first of all, he has a podcast. Like that's when I really knew. Like, it's almost raps for Bron. Yeah. He has a podcast, and then 2, just like the way he's talking. I saw the thing where it was like it's just basketball. First of all, people took that way out of context. They were like, Kobe would never say this, Michael Jordan would never say this, but he did not just say it's just basketball. Like, it was an entire question that came beforehand, an entire full-on monologue Bron had, and it's just basketball came up in there, but. You know how Jordan fanboys get, but no, I feel like retirement.
What about the other 2? Like, because I know you said retirement, you said least likely. So what about like signing with Lakers? And
I will say re-signing with the Lakers is more likely than him leaving at this point. Right. It's kind of like 51 to 49%. Like, I can't really pick which one I think he's gonna do. Like. At a large margin, but I'm just trying. It's just because like, where does he go? Where does he fit in at this point? That's why I don't know. That's why the only thing I could think of was a sign and trade with like D-Mitch and him going back to Cleveland, because I mean he can't go to Golden State. Yeah. Then because one, you're still in California, and then so Lakers fans are gonna absolutely torch you, and then 2, like. You're going to play with the best point guard of all time. Like, it's just going to be more Bron's ring chasing. Bron can't do it by himself. He'll never be this. He'll never be that.
I think Cleveland's the only option.
Yeah, Cleveland really is the only thing, because they got dudes that can play off the ball, and they got bigs, because that was the thing that happened in the Lakers series the most, was like they were getting killed on defensive rebounds, to be honest. Like that's what would really like be the backbreaker, is like at the end of the fourth quarter, like 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left, like Jokic was just getting every offensive rebound. Like, they had nobody to really box him out or anything like that. Like, no bigs were really getting on him. So I feel like that's why he'd go to Cleveland, because you do got plenty of bigs over there.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll get to this eventually when we get to NBA playoffs, but like the way they've been looking and their bigs, they look pretty awful, if you ask me. Yeah. But Bron, I want to get Donovan's take on the three options. What do you like? Know. Most likely to least likely.
I feel like most likely he stays with the Lakers.
Okay.
Least likely he second. Like, he retires, and then third he goes somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't think he would want to go anywhere right now at this point in his career, unless he really thinks that he can go win something. But I mean, I don't know how much more he can do at this point in his career, and how many coaches see him as a viable option to like put on their team anyways.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got like we said, probably 2 years maximum. So I mean,
I think his body could take like 3 to 5.
Oh yeah,
but
I think so.
It's just he's been in the NBA longer than we've been alive.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's like actually insane to think about it. Like, Bron's first game happened before I came onto the planet, and like he's still doing this to this day. 80 years old, 30 points, dang near triple-double in an elimination game. Now, people got to really appreciate that. Like, they got to, because you're not going to see anything like that.
And yeah, I really like what Anthony Edwards said. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but he was talking about how, like, everyone's so quick to hate on him. And, like, at the end of, like, when he retires, people are going to be so, like, there's going to be people that are going to be extremely happy, but there's also going to be people who are like, wow, damn, I didn't take advantage of, like, what I just saw.
Yeah, like, longevity, man. 2 decades.
Yeah.
2 full decades of just elite level play. It was never there was never been a point that LeBron has not been a top 10 NBA player. You can maybe say his rookie year, but it's his rookie year. Like,
Yeah.
it's really crazy. But it's just the things he's saying, like him being like, I've done this for a while, I've achieved everything.
What more
and
is
him,
there?
and him just saying, my family, because that's the thing. Like 2 decades. I don't know how old I don't know how old his daughter is, but you look at it. Throughout Bronny's entire life, he's been in the NBA. Bryce's entire life, he's been in the NBA. Like to be that elite of a player, to be like the GOAT. I'm gonna say he's the GOAT. I don't care what people say on here. Like you got like how much time he's really putting in to do that type of stuff. How many moments he's missing, that type of stuff. Like those add up. Like, bro, he definitely wants to get to the family. Like,
And it's not like he's. I mean, you take the 82 game schedule from October until potentially, like, if he reaches the finals, June. Yeah. But that's not including like any of the other work
made
at
the finals
all.
9 straight years too. Like, you just really got to think about that. Like he's the one doing it. Like we can sit here and imagine, but for him to be there, like he really knows how much time he's missed, how many moments he's missed. Like, and that's definitely stuff he just thinks about at night. So that's why I say, like, I really only see him. If Bronny doesn't get drafted or has a hope of getting drafted after next year, Bron's done. I think he retires. That's why.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but like Woj said, like that's not his main concern anymore. So I mean, Woj is a good source, but
he might even
nothing comes from.
What's not whose main source or
playing with Bronny?
Woj said that that LeBron's top priority was playing with Bronny, but now it's not anymore.
Right.
So I don't know, like, I don't really know what to believe of that.
And I feel like he's definitely thinking about, like, will I really get another ring? And it's just like, it's kind of like it's kind of like Wizards MJ. Like, you don't want to go out like Wizards MJ.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out like Wizards MJ. You don't want to go out like Celtics Shaq, Cavs Shaq.
Yeah.
Or like Eagles Julio. Like, you don't want to do nothing.
Off.
Yeah, bro. You don't want to do nothing like that. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like that's what he's looking at, because it's just like, what can he really get another ring? Can he really get another ring? And
he does.
I don't think he gets it.
He would need a lot more hope.
Like last year when they got swept in the conference finals, I feel like that was really his last like true chance. But at this point, it's just like, look at all the young teams. Thunder, they're not slowing down anytime soon. Timberwolves definitely aren't slowing down anytime soon. What other Spurs are coming? If they can get a true point guard, say they get Trae Young, something like that.
Yeah,
they're coming, because Wemby's only going to keep getting better. And who else is really out there in the West? Everybody else is kind of older in the West. The Kings they're in the middle. They're not old. They're not young. Warriors are old. Suns, that core. We're not even gonna bring them up. Like, there's really no way he gets another ring at this point. I really don't see one.
Yeah, and I feel like
unless he goes to a team that are already contenders.
But that's the thing. Most of the contenders don't want Bron, because they already got.
They know they got 1 year.
The contenders in the West,
2 years.
Who don't want Bron?
The Thunder don't want Bron.
Thunder don't want Bron.
The Timberwolves don't want Bron, because your chemistry. You don't want to mess up your chemistry.
Nuggets don't want him. Yeah. I think the Nuggets could be like kind of what the Chiefs.
You don't think
doing.
like the Knicks would want him or something like that?
We're talking about Western Conference contender. The Knicks could. Yeah, he could go to the Knicks.
Like, I feel like he would be good on the Knicks.
Yeah. I say Eastern Conference teams are his best chance right now.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, he's not making out. He's got to go back to the East if he wants to get another chip. But I think the days of Bron getting a chip is over.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
But I will see. But he's definitely. I'm not LeBron James, so I can't tell you what LeBron James is going to do. But if whatever he does, he's still to go, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be tough if he retires, but I think, like you said, I think we got maybe a year or two left in him, just because of the way he's kind of been talking about things. You haven't really seen him like really go out there and be like, "What more do I have to do?" Like,
Yeah.
I forget all the other stuff he said.
Like
but
usually when people start saying, I've done everything, I'm content.
Yeah,
you
that's when
know they're on the way out. It's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he wants to end his career on first round exit or anything like that.
That's the thing, though. But like, what happens?
Or he might.
back
To be honest, he might just do a Brady and retire and unretire.
He could do that.
That's
I could see that.
That could be something. Like he might announce retirement in like 2 weeks, and then like
He's
a
like,
month
I don't
after
want-
that, he's like, "Nah, I can't do it." What breaking news? LeBron signs with the New York Knicks, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, Knicks would be cold. Knicks would be cold. Cavs, just because that's
Bring
where it
them
all
back,
started. Nah, I can't say Pacers. I
Nah.
can't say Pacers.
He wants a bigger market than that. I
way
think.
bigger market than that. But Bron and Caitlin Clark in Indiana, that would be hard. That would be hard. That would be hard.
crazy. That would be crazy.
But yeah, outside that, nah, I don't see nobody. Definitely not the Magic. Definitely not going back to the Heat. Actually, no. If the Heat get rid of Jimmy, that could be an option.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Celtics. They already have kind of what they need,
Yeah,
and
no
I
way
feel
he
like
goes to the Celtics.
that's Jason Tatum's team.
Yeah.
I think if they're gonna get rid of anyone, they're gonna get rid of Jaylen Brown. Maybe another piece like that. But
I'd get rid of Kristaps.
yeah, I mean,
I'd get rid of him.
If they don't win this year, they should definitely get rid of him because I mean they brought him in just to see if they could go farther, and we'll see what happens.
But with LeBron retiring, like who do we want to see become the next face of the NBA? Do you want it to be Ant or do you want it to be Jokic? Or do
I
we
would
want-
say easily Ant.
easily Ant. Yeah, I feel like Jokic doesn't want to be the face of the NBA.
That
so-
and I feel like you bring in a lot more with Ant than you do with Jokic. I feel like Jokic isn't that kind of guy.
No, people love both their personalities, but with Ant, like he's definitely a lot more. What's it called?
Marketable.
He's
Yeah.
he's definitely a lot more marketable just because he's so open. Like
Yeah, he is.
when he's
Really.
up, like everything you see Anthony Edwards doing. Don't hold your hand up at me. You're not even talking. I'll stop doing it when I feel like it. No, but everything you see Ant do, like that's him. Like it's nothing
Yeah.
for the cameras or anything like that. Like and like especially old heads. Old heads love him just because he's going at you. He's trying to kill you.
The
Like,
KD stuff,
Yeah, it's
that was
no
great.
friends. It's no friends
That
out
was
there.
great.
And that's the main thing old heads always talking about is, the NBA is so friendly. All these dudes,
yeah.
just no competitive spirit, all this stuff. Now, one thing I will say though, I watched an NBA game. I don't watch NBA games often, unless it gets to the playoffs. But I will say I can kind of see what the old heads were talking about with the free throws and all the fouling and how the NBA is soft. I can see that now.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad.
I tried to watch I think it was like game 4, the Lakers game. And it was just of the Lakers series, my bad. And it was just every possession, every other possession, it was stopped. I was like, yeah, we can't watch this.
Well, and
the last 5 minutes every game is pretty good when they're not calling fouls, but it's like, bro, it's so hard to watch. Especially
I
the
saw
first
like
halves.
something on Instagram the other day. It was talking about like because you guys remember like when Trae Young was getting away with those ridiculous amount of foul calls, like where he would like pump fake, lean into him, and then shoot. Yeah, I guess like I mean, there's a lot of Knicks fans out there, and we know how they get. But I mean, I feel like Brunson and it's still kind of around. I was watching the Cavs game last night, and I feel like there was still some of that stuff. So I think they kind of need to clean that up. But I mean, I feel like that's everywhere now. Like that's every sport.
Yeah,
you got like the refs
everything.
versus the game.
Yeah,
Really,
everything's getting a lot softer in except like I'm not watching baseball. I'm not watching baseball. I'm not watching golf. I'm not watching tennis. So
Baseball. It's
that's the only ones where refs don't really do none. To be honest,
yeah.
ain't no foul calls. Ain't no roughing the passer. Yeah, just to wrap the NBA stuff. Like, who do we really think is going to make it out of the East and the West?
I mean, the East I feel like is so up for grabs.
Yeah,
Celtics. I mean, they either like blew the Heat out or they just got the Heat got lucky and they shot like crazy from 3. And I think that was. I don't remember which game that was. It was like game 1 or 2, or game 2, I think it was. But I don't know.
That coffee was so hot.
I just don't think if there's anybody I can say I know is not making out the East, I know the Cavs are not.
Yeah,
making
no,
out
they
the
look
East.
awful. They look horrendous.
I wouldn't be. Dang, the Pacers played the Knicks. I was gonna say don't be shocked if the Pacers somehow make it to the conference finals, but no, the Pacers are getting taken out this time. I think I'm gonna pick. You know what? Just because I don't want to pick the Celtics, so I'm gonna go Knicks to the finals.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Knicks to the finals. I'm going
to
Knicks
the
versus
finals.
Timberwolves in the finals.
Okay.
People are gonna hate me for that, but I'm just this is my outside the box thinking right now.
Okay.
I'm not trying to, but if I'm not doing that, then it's probably gonna be Nuggets versus Celtics.
Okay.
That's what it's probably gonna be.
This isn't necessarily the finals, but I have a feeling that the Thunder might not. They might beat those overrated allegations and beat the Timberwolves.
They're playing the Mavs.
That's what I meant. The Mavs. I do that all the time.
I think that I think it's gonna go to 7. I think it's gonna go to 7. It's either gonna
Obviously,
go to
I
7.
have them losing to the Nuggets.
It's either gonna go to 7 or the Thunder are gonna win in like 5.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I like the Thunder. I like the Thunder a lot.
Wait, so who do you have in the Western Conference Finals?
Western Conference Finals right now, I have Timberwolves versus the Thunder.
Timberwolves, Thunder. Okay, and then Donovan, who did you have? You had
I got
Thunder.
Nuggets.
Nuggets,
Celtics.
No,
That's
for
in
Western Conference Finals.
Oh, for the Western Finals, Nuggets and Thunder.
Thunder. Okay. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I've been watching the Mavs a lot, and they look like they're gelling real nicely. I think this is like the first time that I really feel like that Kyrie is really
Taking over.
And
not taking over, but just it almost feels like he really wants to be out there. Not that he didn't when he was like playing other basketball with other teams, but I feel like this is the first time we really seen him go out there and enjoy who he's playing with.
Yeah, I feel
Since-
like the Mavericks. I just feel like they've made him like really feel like at home.
Yeah.
Because like the Ramadan stuff. Like I forget what the Celtics gave him. Didn't they? I forget what they gave him
I don't
after.
remember that.
But no, like when he was on the Celtics, like they didn't like respect like any of his stuff with Ramadan. They kind of were like, like we don't. And I forget what they gave him, but they gave him like some trash meal, and he was supposed to just go out there and play off of it. But like like the Mavs were flying in like personal chefs for him. They were getting him like special food and all this type of stuff. Like they're really treating him like he is their superstar, one of their superstar players. Like they really love him. I mean, that's just Mark Cuban's always been a great owner though. Like
Yeah.
his organization's always been greatly ran. So I feel like that's one of the main things. It's just the fact that like he really feels at home. He really feels loved.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like he's just there just because we want you to win. Like it truly feels like he's one of the like the main pieces of the organization that they truly love. Like he's not just okay, you're selling jerseys. We know that you're a great playmaker and all this. Like we really think you're the best point guard in the NBA, Kyrie, and we really love you, Kyrie, as a person. So
Yeah, they're building a really good staff, like around not staff, but they're putting good players around him, and they're not. I feel like what teams are trying to do, or what they did try to do, and the Lakers are a great example. They're trying to bring in so many like not star faces, but like players that were really solid. Like Gabe Vincent, I think, is a good example.
Yeah.
Christian Wood, I think, is a good example. Versus like you look at the Mavs squad, and they drafted Derek Lively from Duke, and then like I think Gafford's kind of been under the radar a little bit, but him and Doncic, like this is the first time I think maybe not the first time, but maybe like a couple other times I've seen outside of this, but I feel like Kyrie's actually like putting forth some effort on the defensive side of the ball too.
Yeah.
Not that he never did. I just feel like
he was definitely a lot lazier.
yeah, like I feel like he's trying to go out there and like really bring something back to Dallas.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, going back to Gabe Vincent, Heat players just never work out. Unless they're the best players on the Heat, like the good role players, they never ever work out once they get off of the Heat. So I mean, that's testament to Eric Spoelstra's coaching.
Yeah,
clearly. But
I mean, because like the players that they had when like D Wade and Chris Bosh were there, like those players like Mario Chalmers and those kind of guys, I just felt like they happen to be good with them, but then like
if I'm a GM and I see any Heat player wants like anything close to like a max or close to a max that was a good to great player on the Heat while they were there, and they weren't one of like the superstars, I'm actually not giving it no back.
I think Tyler Hero's like very on the verge of that.
Nah, Tyler Hero's gonna stay. He's gonna stay on the Heat.
You think so?
I think so. Where does he go?
Well, I think they're gonna try and like. I think the Heat want another like big name if they want to go anywhere.
I could see Dame or Donovan Mitchell going there.
Dame's not gonna stay.
In Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I've heard things that like they're kind of unsettled up there, like just him in general and
shit, bro. It's so sad, man. Dame's just never getting a ring. He's never getting one.
Yeah, that series is rough. I mean,
unless like he pulls like a who was a vet that was just winning rings, and Patrick McCaw. Unless he's like Patrick McCaw,
oh my goodness,
like he's just this is 40-year-old Dame. He doesn't have anything left in the tank. It hurts to run. It hurts to walk. Like he's just there. Or like when LaShawn McCoy won a ring with the Bucks and the Chiefs.
That's
like,
right. I forgot.
Like something like that. That's the only way I see Dame getting a ring. But Dame, as far as him being a pivotal player and getting a ring, it's never happening.
He deserves a ring.
He deserves it, but it's never happening.
Yeah.
So where we sit today, this is May 4th for people watching. Cavs and the brain fart
Magic
are 3-3. Who do we have advancing?
I have them winning at home in a close one.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic walk away with that series.
Yeah, but don't be surprised if they get swept next series too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was talking about, like with the bigs. Like I was talking about this on another show, and I was like talking about how the offense.
Did you say on another show?
Yeah. Do you want to cut that out?
Is he cheating on keeping it?
Nah, this is crazy.
Is he cheating on keeping? We haven't had Cale on the pod. We haven't had Cale on the podcast.
It was a radio show.
How many months?
Okay. It was a radio show.
Did you mention keeping it in?
We'll get a radio show eventually.
So did you hear it? He didn't mention keeping it in act.
Man, keeping the act's growing every day, man. Shout out to
that could be us.
Anyways, my prediction, I'm going to go Knicks Celtics conference finals, and I'm going to go Nuggets Mavs. And I'm going to go Nuggets. That Knicks Celtics series is going to be crazy, I think. I don't know. That one's up for debate. But that's my somewhat predictions, I guess. I just feel like Jalen Brunson, he can only do so much. I mean, I know Josh Hart's going crazy and like
when Josh Hart hit that three, I was like, that boy Josh come.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching when I really watched basketball, like when Lonzo and him, like when they were rookies, him, Kuzma, and Lonzo. Man, those were the days. Like 6th, 7th grade. They on IG Live. Lonzo rapping, Lonzo dropping the diss track on Kuzma. Like, man, that was such a good time, man. It was even though the Lakers were trash, but nah, just when they were young and they was turning up, that was all a great time.
I don't know. I feel like,
and Josh, like, just seeing his game progress from so much there, because when he was on the Lakers, like, he was doing, he had a role he had now, but like Josh Hart now, like every NBA team wants Josh Hart. They give him a good amount of money to be on their team. Like before Josh, he was just like, you can come be the 6th, 7th man. We might even make you the 10th man. But it should have been great to see Josh like really advance as a player.
I think that their depth is what has taken them as far as what they have. I mean, Julius Randle's not even playing, and they look like one of the best teams in the NBA.
I hated Julius Randle. He was one of the ones I hated. Back when they had that team, he was one of the ones I hated for some reason, just young me. I can't even tell you why, but I just hated him.
I mean, Kobe said they were all soft. So.
Yeah.
So who do you have in the finals?
I'm gonna take Celtics Nuggets. I think they'll sneak out of there. Mm-hmm. But I don't know who I got winning.
Yeah, that's
because I just can't like.
I just
can't. I don't know if I could say that again for like the Nuggets to win to go back to back. But like I was saying earlier, I think they could really potentially, like if they can keep that kind of core players like Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Jokic, I'm missing someone else. I forget.
Aaron
Gordon. Yeah.
What do the Timberwolves have to do to beat the Nuggets? Like, is it as far-fetched as we would think?
It's not far-fetched at all.
Yeah,
those teams are like this. Like, literally like this. Whichever one's on top is up to you.
Right.
Like, it's not a far gap at all.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And it also wasn't even a huge gap with the Lakers. The Lakers just
beat themselves.
Yeah, and they could not finish.
Yeah.
They could never finish.
Like, they were taking the advantage, and then they would just do stuff to beat themselves. Like, I'm watching them, like, run down the court when there's a couple minutes left and you're up a good amount of points, or you're throwing the ball up. Like, run the clock out.
Yeah. I mean,
dribble the ball out.
They were up at half in almost every game. I think it was 4 out of 5 games they were up at half. If not all 5, they were up at half. Like
they were leading. Like, there was a stat that said like they were leading like 124 minutes in that series, and the Nuggets only led for like 40 minutes or something. So
they just couldn't finish, and they also just shooting themselves in the foot constantly. Turnovers were a big thing, as we mentioned earlier. The rebounding. Yeah. As far as rebounding in the last like 6-7 minutes, just literally that's all I saw in the last 6-7 minutes every game.
Yeah.
Nuggets miss, Jokic gets the rebounds, just puts it right back up, easy points. And then their switching was terrible. Like especially D'Angelo Russell, like him trying to play through the screen and guard Jamal Murray. Yeah. And AR, I'm not going to talk about AR as badly. But no, just D'Angelo Russell like trying to play through the screen was absolutely horrible. As soon as that screen, what's the video with Shin Sharp where it's like fried catfish, yams, collard greens? Like right. As soon as I saw that screen get set on them boys, I knew it was over with. Like Jamal Murray got a free bucket.
Yeah.
But dude, Jamal Murray, bro, he was just so punchable that last
only
series.
Player in NBA history to hit multiple game winners in the same series, bro. I can't, bro. Why, bro?
It's not real,
bro.
They just.
I'm like, Nuggets. It's going into OT, man. I'm like, bro,
Jamal Murray.
Man, you see that dang Jamal Murray come down the court with the ball, get the ball in the last few seconds. You better run.
Fried chicken, yams, collard greens. Like,
I need to see 5 people on him.
Nah, but nah. Just cause I just can't shake it now. Lonzo, man, Lonzo Ball. Like when I really think about Lonzo, like he's really just the definition of like a soldier dying for the cause. Cause think about how much he put on for Big Baller Brand and the Ball family. And I just think of how much he paid for it. Because if you go and like, I don't know if you guys have seen like any of the videos pertaining to like his injuries and all that stuff, but a lot of it does point to like the training that LeVar was putting him through when he was a kid. And the Big Baller Brand shoes, like the fact that they were breaking on him every game, like this dude sat down it was some medical professional. He sat down like really like explained like like why his body is responding the way it does, and pointing back to like the training he did when he was a kid, the shoes that he was wearing and all that type of stuff. And it is bad. It just is sad to see because without Lonzo, the Ball family, LaMelo's never
nothing.
Yeah, LaMelo's never going number 2. LeVar's never. I have to imagine LeVar made at least $10 million off Big Ball.
Oh, he had
at
to.
Minimum, like
had to.
And it's just. And now look at Lonzo, man. Hasn't played basketball in nearly 3 years. Obviously, can't wait to see him back. You love him, but it's just like, dang, man, bro really died. Oh, bro really died for the cause. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. His dad put him in a really. Yeah. He put him in a. It's debatable. He put him in a good position, but he also put him in a really bad
I'm never going to say
position.
LeVar's a bad father, but I'm just saying as far as like, bro really did like his body, and just think about all the stuff he went through.
I mean, that brand was really popular.
Nah, that brand was crazy.
And I mean, it was the biggest like fall off of the century.
Yeah, and Lonzo, he was the linchpin. Like Big Baller Brand is nothing without Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I mean LaMelo, like you said, like. I kind of wonder where they would be at.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from LaMelo as a player at all. I think he's definitely a great player. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at who made it possible, it's Lonzo Ball's playing. It's him being at UCLA as a true freshman, reviving the program. Him coming in, being a good piece for the Lakers, and just he put the family on the map, man. Number 2 player in the country out of high school, like. And
you forgot about Oprah's side. He put him on the map.
OSN, man.
Yeah,
OSN, no haircut, man. Windex about to laugh, man. Crazy times.
You put him on the map.
The freestyle in the car with the shoes.
Yes.
Man. Great times, man. Great times. But yeah, hopefully we see Lonzo back on the court soon. But with that, man, we can just go to the NFL draft. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Cale, let me get your give me 3 winners, give me about 2, 3 losers.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is like, before I get into that, is what made, I've just been seeing like they're ranking all these draft classes and stuff like that. What made the Steelers draft class? I'll throw top 3 in there, I guess. Because that's all I was going to
talk about that too. Was me personally, I didn't necessarily love our draft class. Like when it first happened, like I wasn't super satisfied with it.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like I'm starting to understand the hype around certain stuff because the Steelers went into the draft with about 4 needs and came out with 3 of them. Starter quality. So,
yeah.
We went in there. We needed a center. We had void. There was nobody there.
Yeah.
We got arguably third at the lowest best center in the league, and by no means does that mean that he's not a starter. I mean, he started the most games at the center position out that draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fatanu, he's a smaller tackle, but I mean, you look at the film, you turn the film on, and he was projected to go top 10.
9-8.
Huh?
Nothing.
I don't know. What did he say?
I don't know. I didn't hear him.
Hater. But nah, he's a little bit undersized, which will throw up like an exclamation point for you, but Dan Moore was terrible, and unless he was playing against Myles Garrett. So, I'm glad we got that spot fixed. Now, Bodrick can go to his position, and then Roman Wilson was round 2 guy.
Oh, my
got
God.
him day 3.
Don't even start.
I'm not the biggest, but I'm not the biggest Roman Wilson fan, but I think he plays Steelers brand of ball. As far as toughness.
He's a gremlin.
Yeah, he real aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't think he's going to be the best. I still think we needed another receiver before we go into the season, but I like the pickup.
USFL 2 years from now.
Come on, you got to stop saying that.
Maybe not 2 years. I'm hating a little too hard, but still.
I think he'll be all right.
He'll be okay.
He'll grow into that 2 position eventually, I think. Like the wide receiver 2 role.
Now, I don't think there was any winners and losers of the draft, but I say like the top 3 worst drafts has to be the Raiders. I'll say Raiders.
Bills.
What you talking about?
Bills.
What you talking about?
Bills draft.
What you talking?
I hate it with the Bills.
What you talking about?
All right, the players.
Nah, just pull them up. Pull up the list of players they drafted.
Yeah, pull up who they
you talking
drafted.
about?
But the quality of the Bills draft might have been cool. But bro, you traded to your rivals, the people that every year you go into the season.
Oh my gosh!
You go into the season with an exclamation point above the Chiefs, and you handed them Xavier Worthy.
No, but they didn't hand him Xavier Worthy. Like, what about the other 28 teams that drafted before them that could have drafted Xavier Worthy?
They gave them the opportunity to get Xavier Worthy. The Bills should have taken him.
Xavier Worthy over Keon Coleman?
Obviously, that's what the Chiefs did.
I don't think in the cases that they were in, a lot of people
like we acted like they gift wrapped Xavier Worthy, put him in a present, and handed him to the Chiefs.
They did.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Donovan.
And if they wanted to trade back, I'm sure there was other teams that were like, "Hey,
there were 27 other draft picks before Xavier Worthy."
But here's the thing:
it's
but if
not
they
all
wanted
on
to
Buffalo.
trade back, then there was other teams that they could have traded back to. Somebody else that needed a wide receiver right there. Trade back and they could have taken
who was going to draft Xavier Worthy?
I don't know. I don't have the board on me right now, but
the Ravens weren't going to draft Xavier Worthy.
Chiefs was the only person that they didn't.
The 49ers might have drafted. The 49ers might have drafted Xavier Worthy. They might have. Maybe.
Traded. I would have taken that chance.
But I doubt it because he's not really the type of player they use.
That's what I'm saying about Keon Coleman though. Right. Is I feel like to go into that Bills team, is Xavier Worthy going to be able to be a number 1 like right off rip? I don't think so.
No.
Versus you look at Keon Coleman and how he's built, I think he could easily do that with Josh Allen. Yeah. And that's why I think they took him.
It doesn't matter.
Jump ball wide receiver with Josh Allen. How is that ever going to be an issue?
That's fine. I mean, I like.
Do I think Keon Coleman's going to be better than Xavier Worthy?
Time will only tell.
Then I don't know. I can't say that for sure. But I just feel like in the positions that they are in, I think Xavier Worthy going to the Chiefs and then Keon Coleman going to the Bills
No.
was.
So pull up the board for me and tell me who the Bills
Can I finish my point
got.
about who I think I had the worst drafts?
Well, no, you got to pull up the Bills.
Yeah, pull up
I'm
the
going to pull
Bills
that up in
thing.
a second, but
All
I'm
right.
going to finish what I was saying. I actually really like the Rams draft. I'm not going to say the Rams, but I feel like I'm going to say probably. Who did I already say?
You said
I
Bills,
the
Raiders.
I did not
Oh,
say
no,
the
you-
Bills.
he said
He
Bills.
said the Bills.
You said
I got Raiders, Bucks, in my last one.
Browns.
Nah,
They
I
didn't
don't-
have anything
Yeah, they
to
didn't have.
use.
Yeah, they didn't have no picks. Yeah, and then my last one, I don't want to do it. You know, we'll just stay with those two right now. We'll just stay with those two.
So
right
who
now.
the Bills? Who the Bills got there? Who got?
I will pull it up for you guys right now.
It's just because the stuff that they needed safeties and stuff like that. Like, I just don't feel like they put themselves in this offseason as a whole. Like, I don't think they got better. They got a lot worse, if you ask
The Bills?
me. Yes.
Oh, you
Oh,
think that?
easily.
You think that? Oh my gosh, who would have thought? Like, come on, bro. You said, come on, bro. That's clear. And no, they got Keon Coleman. They got
Okay.
Cole Bishop, safety from Utah. They got Dwayne Carter. They got Ray Davis from Kentucky, the running back. They got Cedric Van Pron Ranger from Georgia,
Yeah.
center from Georgia.
That's cool in the round that they got him, I guess. But
And then they got, in the 5th round, they got Edefwan Olofoshio. I hope that I said that right. Javon Solomon, DN from Troy, probably not going to make the team. O-tackle, Tylen Grable, probably not going to make the team.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what's good about this.
so that's what I'm saying. So other than Keon Coleman, what did they really get?
Cole Bishop was a good draft pick. Dwayne
what
Carter was a good draft pick.
Those are okay draft
5th and 6th and 7th round picks. These are 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. After that, they didn't have a bunch of draft capital.
Okay.
It was
Those
all right
guys-
with what they had. Also,
That's what I'm saying.
There
It was a
was
good
guys
draft for
around
what
that
they
they
had. But the Raiders, they got Brock Bowers. You already had
I
Michael
didn't
Mayer.
I didn't like the Raiders draft.
You already had Michael Mayer. You could have got Spencer Rattler. Didn't get Spencer Rattler nowhere in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 8th,
who do they even have?
12th round.
Who'd they get
They
other than Brock Bowers?
they just got a bunch of mid.
Some of the later round ones weren't terrible, if I can remember.
They got
Because they got Jackson Powers Jr., didn't they?
Oh yeah, that's not a bad pick. They got Brock Bowers and Jackson Powers Jr. That's the only ones I'm really gonna say is some nice picks.
Who else? did
Then they
get?
got DJ Glaze from Maryland, the tackle. They got the Cameron Richardson, Mississippi State corner. Tommy Eichenberg from O State. Shout out to Tommy. Never mind. I mess with you. I'm messing with the Raiders draft class now.
Oh my lord!
I'm messing with the Raiders draft class now. Disregard what I said before.
See?
Round 6, they got. No, I'm not even. The 6th and 7th round picks probably not making the team. The one that might make the team is the corner from Pittsburgh, MJ Devonshire.
Oh, okay.
But the
Who is the other guys that? aren't
Dylan
making-
Laub from New Hampshire, running
Okay.
back, he's not making the team.
Yeah.
No shade to Dylan Hampshire, not Dylan Laub or Lube, however you say his name. No shade to him. It's just a business. I'm not saying he's a trash football player or anything like that. And
But yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Like, I think that draft class is better than the Bills draft class.
you can make a case for that. But I just think Keon County, man.
I don't know. I just don't like the fact that they went out and got Brock Bowers.
Yeah, like I think the first round pick, and I
What
don't
was
think
that?
they were in a position to go luxury.
It was
either.
just
Well,
there was
no,
13. It was
13.
There was just no need.
I mean, I guess.
They just went best player available. Can't hate it. But you got no quarterback. So it's like
Who do they even have?
Aiden O'Connell. Who else did they?
They got
No, they
somebody.
got his what? Gardner Minshew.
Oh, okay.
They got
Did they get
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. It's just like,
I don't know.
okay, but I don't think they're even in a situation where they're like trying to win. I think
There was
they're-
no one out there.
They're trying to be bad again
Mm-hmm.
so that they can get a quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm.
They can get the Shador or something like. Because everybody, we seen the same thing when Trevor Lawrence.
No,
and all them got drafted.
Shador in Vegas, man. That's
No, but you see what I'm saying though.
Vegas
The same
already a
thing-
party city, man. It's gonna be crazy. You bring the primetime family. in.
Dad not gonna allow that one.
Nah, I think he might. We'll see. I mean, no, he loves AP. Shador, and Las Vegas is hot. Man, if the Raiders want to draft him, he's going there. And no matter what, I don't care what Deion's saying.
Yeah, he's not deciding where he's going.
Whoever draft Shador is playing for the squad. If we're done, it doesn't matter who your dad is. Unless your dad's the president of the United States at this point, it does not matter who your dad is anymore. The day and age we're in, whoever drafts you, you're playing for him at this point.
Yeah.
But I do wish the NFL did like how the NBA does. Like you draft somebody and then you trade them.
Oh, like with the Trae Young.
Yeah. That type of stuff. I do wish that was something the NFL did. I do like those type of things. Yeah. Those are pretty cool, but we'll see. It'll probably never happen.
But just I don't know. I think there's a few winners. The Rams draft class was very interesting. I like how they kind of not took best player available, but they definitely took some.
They knew what they wanted to get, and they went and got it.
I like the Blake Corum pickup too because Kyron and Blake Corum is going to be good. It's just like they kind of doubled down on a lot of positions that they didn't necessarily need, but it like sets them up good for the future.
You need a D-line. You need a D-line.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
Jared Verse.
Jared Verse and Braden Fish. I think them boys about to go crazy. I think them boys about to go crazy.
They got both of them?
Yeah. I think for you got them both for the next 5 to 6 years. You extend them, but I think those two are going to have a great career together. I really do.
Yeah, but
I mean, when you lose Aaron Donald, I mean, I think that's kind of what you kind of got to go for.
Other losers? Hold on, let me check this
for them to go out and draft D-line, I think Braden Fisk was my number 1 D tackle in the draft.
Really?
Yeah, he was my number 1 before the combine. So I think he's about to go there. I think he's going to be like a Max Crosby D tackle. Because that's really that's what I saw with as far as motor goes. I never saw him give up on the play. Like constantly, like when you really talk about somebody fighting against the quarterback, fight to get to the play, no matter what, like Braden Fisk was doing that.
Yeah, no, the Bengals draft class to me was just super. It's super risky.
Going back to like Quinion Mitchell, like what do you want? Where do you want them to go corner wise? Like, I mean, I guess like at that pick, it was a little bit of a reach, I would say. But
18.
Yeah.
For Quinion?
Nah.
Best corner in the draft at 18.
I don't know if he
only went 4 picks later, so
that's what I'm saying. Like
it's not a big difference.
He was projected to go like top 15, and he was there at 18. And they need corner bad. Like I understand they want tackle, and I'm gonna get who they.
But what if Armarius Mims becomes a max tackle? He's making $20 million.
What if Armarius Mims becomes a nobody? What if Armarius Mims becomes a Zach Banner or a big guy who can't stay healthy?
That's the NFL draft. Games. That's the NFL draft.
But that's what I'm saying.
What if Caleb Williams? What's it called? Breaks his ankle and tears his Achilles at the same time.
Okay,
and he's never the same player again.
Okay, like, but Caleb Williams
we can't go hypothetical for hypothetical every second
because Peyton Wilson dropped to the 3rd round because he has no ACL.
Because he has no. That's a big difference.
Amarius Mims is big and has injury problems and only started. He's played in 8 games. I don't even think he played full games. Like he has to sit out because he was tired or he would have injuries mid game and come back in and out the game. It just is a risky pick that at that point they didn't need to take because there was still other tackles on the board.
I just don't think
Fatanu was still on the board. Get Fatanu.
You can get him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm glad that he got picked so that we didn't have the opportunity to get him.
That's right. This is the draft, man. That's what the draft is. It's gambling. That's really all the draft is. Even after that,
I mean, Chris Jenkins, Michigan.
That's a decent pick.
Jermaine Burton.
That's a good. Jackson. I think that's a good pick. The Jermaine Burton pick to me.
I like the Josh Newton pick up in round 5, but I mean, other than that, it was just like a bunch of. It was a bunch of okay. I don't think that they really improved their team either, and people still have them like as AFC championship contenders and stuff like that. Like I don't see how that's even possible.
They're always going to when you have a top 5 quarterback, that always happens. No matter what.
He just came off of a major wrist injury.
NFL fans don't care about that. NFL analysts don't care about that. They saw Joe Burrow. They saw Joe Shiesty go to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year in the NFL. 3rd year in the NFL.
And that's cool, but I mean,
like that's always what they're going to remember.
I don't know at this point in the offseason that T. Higgins like actually leaves, but you got him and was it Sam Hupp? No. Who was it that was also
Trey Hendrickson? Yeah. I think you're making good points, but I'm just saying as far as how people see the team, as long as you have Joe Burrow, people are constantly gonna just suck them and think they're going
and they
all
do
the way.
Same thing with Josh Allen. But I mean, if you don't have anybody to throw to, you don't have it. But here's where the narrative changes. Nobody's saying, "Oh, the Chargers are about to go to the playoffs." They got a great quarterback. He's
because they play in the AFC West.
5. That and like I mean, look at his wide receivers.
That's what I'm saying.
They play.
But he literally has Jamar Chase.
If you're in, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're in Mahomes' division, nobody's really worried about you. I promise.
I don't know. I just feel like
because think about it when the Jets had good seasons, did anybody ever think the Jets was gonna make it to the Super Bowl or make it to the AFC Championship when Brady was there?
We were talking about the Jets going to the AFC Championship a couple years ago.
When Tom Brady was on the Patriots.
Like last year.
When Tom Brady was on the Patriots is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you have the best quarterback in the NFL in your division. Nobody cares what you're doing in there. No. It's always their division. No matter what, you're not making the Super Bowl.
I guess not. No.
Did anybody ever say that? No. Bills had good seasons. Did anybody ever think they were making it to the AFC Championship Super Bowl? Never. All right. Like that's why nobody's talking about Herbert. I don't know.
I mean,
Chargers were drafted super risky too.
But I mean, look at who they have.
No, I love what they did. I love what they did.
I watching it play out though, it was like, dude, what the heck are they doing?
I would have. They got Brendan Rice and they got what's it called?
No, I do like.
They got Brendan Rice. They got Ladd McConkey.
That's what I'm saying though. Like,
that one was
you watched day one.
Ladd McConkey was early. That one was early. Yeah. That surprised me.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like you watched day one and you watched them take Joe Alt and you're like, oh okay, but where's the receiver at? I mean, you had some great wide receivers on the board.
At 5 though, who would you have taken?
No
wide receiver.
At 5?
I'd have traded back.
At 5,
somebody was going to trade.
No, at 5, I either would have got Malik Neighbors or I would have got Joe Alt. And I think they made the right decision by getting Joe Alt.
Because I feel like
you can't throw
in my opinion,
you can't
Malik
throw it.
Neighbors is not like I feel like he could.
Oh yeah, I'm not the biggest Malik Neighbors fan either.
I just think it's gonna be bad because he's in New York.
Yeah.
If he went to another team, I feel like Malik would go crazy. But the Giants are just so poverty with everything they've been doing post Super Bowl against Tom Brady. So even though they made the playoffs that one year, we all thought they were gonna get cooked in the first round. They beat Kirk Cousins. I don't care about that. But as far as the Chargers, Ladd McConkey was early. I do think that I would have tried to get AD. I would have tried to get AD and then get Ladd later. Because I think Ladd would have been there at their next pick, to be honest.
Probably. I mean, I feel like they did do a little bit of reaching there.
Yeah, I would have liked AD Mitchell, Ladd McConkey. Sounds a lot better to me than Ladd McConkey and Brendan Rice.
Yeah.
But I feel like you still could have got all three.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too.
But, I mean, Harbaugh, I trust Harbaugh. Always had a good track record in the NFL, so we'll see what he does with the team.
He just has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be there for,
Chargers
3 years minimum.
Do I think they'll make a Super Bowl? Probably not. But I think he can return them to like the Phillip Rivers age of Chargers. You know, you get to the
consistent.
Yeah, you get to the divisional, you get to the AFC Championship once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But as far as that bowl goes, hey man.
Yeah, their draft has been good though. I like that. After it was over.
But the most controversial pick of the draft being Michael Penix, how do you guys feel about that?
Overreaction,
I think it was a dumb idea. I think it's a good situation to be in, but I still think for that team and for you to be a brand new coach, you don't need to be worrying about quarterback when you just went out and paid all this money. Somebody's breathing in the mic crazy right now.
That was probably me.
But yeah, it feels like a bit of a good bad situation to be in. I don't know.
I understand why people think it's a horrible pick, it's the worst draft pick of all this time and all that stuff. But I think that you have to really look and realize that there was no way they were going to be able to get him if they didn't take him at 8. And when you see a quarterback that you think will truly make a difference and this will be your quarterback of the future, because obviously they see something in him if they're going to pick him at number 8. Yeah. And if you see that, you're gonna pick him. Like you're gonna pick him no matter.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like you kind of look around who was there.
And there was because their next pick, I think it was 34th. It was either 34, 35th, 36th. It was one of the first picks in the second round. There was absolutely no chance they were gonna get him. That's why I say like if they wanted to get him, they had to pick him at 8 because if they didn't get him at 8, the soonest you'd have to trade up to pick 10 to get him because. Yeah. Look, pick 10, J.J. McCarthy gets drafted, and then pick 12, you get Bo Nix. And then if he didn't get pick 10 or 12, there was absolutely no chance the Raiders weren't going to take him. So if you wanted to get him, you were going to have to either take him at 8 or you were going to have to trade up to 10. You're going to have to give up a lot to trade to 10. So you wanted Michael Penix, you got to take him at 8. It's really just that simple because...
And it's not like they're going to find anyone at 8 that's just going to instantly turn their team around.
Yeah.
Either.
So if you think Michael Penix is going to be... If you think he's going to be a superstar quarterback, you think he's going to be top 5?
You just said there's nobody you can get in the top 10 picks of the draft that's going to turn your team.
For Atlanta...
At 8.
For Atlanta, no.
Why? What?
Who were they going to get that was going to change
their whole
entire season?
Bro, they could. Here's the thing: like, if they wanted to do that, trade back and get some more picks or something. Like,
no, but who are they gonna draft at 8? That's gonna turn around their whole entire team.
Nobody.
I don't know right now.
They wanted. That's why they wanted Penix. And when you want your quarterback, you go and get him. And there was no chance they were going to be able to get him unless they took him at 8 or they traded up to as early as 10 because the Vikings could have took him, the Broncos could have took him, and the Raiders were 100% going to draft him if he was there at 13.
I mean, Kirk. He's what, 4 years, right?
Yeah, 4 years. But I looked at it. It's a lot. It's really front loaded, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. A lot of his money does get paid out in that first 2 years.
Because is Kirk really going to last all 4 years of his contract?
And I understand that you did just sign him to this big money and everything like that. But Kirk is coming off an Achilles injury. I don't care how far medicine has advanced. I don't care how great his recovery went. Like, this is an Achilles injury. We do have to realize that. And Kirk Cousins was already not very mobile, already pretty stationary. Like, I just don't see how people really think this is. And I don't want to disrespect Kirk Cousins as a player. I think he's always been top 10 fringe. You can make the case he was top 10 in the past 2 years, but dude.
Keep in mind, you are the same person who said empty calorie.
He is an empty calorie all-world quarterback. He is. A lot of those numbers do come late, but I don't want to act like Kirk Cousins is a bum. But it's just like, man, you have to have an insurance policy with a 35-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury.
Well, that's why I said like Penix is like I think that was just such an overreaction. I mean, at the time, sure, but like looking overall at the situation, I don't think so. You sit behind a guy through 2, 3, 4 years max, and then he goes out there and takes control of that Atlanta team.
And everybody's talking about he's going to be 26, he's going to be 27, he's going to be 28 when he takes his first snap. That really means nothing. Quarterbacks can play till they're 40, 45 these days with all the new rule changes and how much they protect quarterbacks. If Michael Penix goes and wins, it's really just up to Michael Penix to determine how good or bad of a draft pick this was. Michael Penix goes, wins MVP. He has the Falcons, in perennial playoff contention. He goes and he gets a Super Bowl appearance, not even a Super Bowl win. Then the draft pick was amazing. It was perfect. But it's really just up to Michael Penix to decide how good or bad of the draft pick it was.
Yeah,
I mean that team's not even going to be the same by the time he gets to play. Like, it's not even going to be the same like foundation. It's not going to. I mean, it might be Bijan, might not be Drake London, might not be Kyle Pitts.
They're definitely keeping Bijan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It probably will be Bijan, but he's a running back. You can't bank on him being a starter in 4 years.
Well, that's why they have Tyler Algier.
You can find a running back
like
bum,
like
bum.
He just named me Tyler Algier. Bro just said
that's why I'm saying.
I like Tyler Algier, but bro, he's not your running back one.
Bum no.
Okay,
bum
Tyler
no.
Algier, you're not a bum. But
I'm just saying he's there for a reason.
He's not, and then it's not the start.
He's there for a reason. He's there to split carries so that Bijan doesn't end up becoming that guy.
AJ Dillon.
What about AJ Dillon?
Exactly. That's what I felt when you.
AJ Dillon never had 1K.
Jalen Warren. Tony Pollard. Like, that's how I felt. These
Tony
are running
Pollard
back.
had 1K.
He was not a running. He's not a running back one.
Nobody's saying Tyler Algier is a running back one. We're saying he's there to take the load off of Bijan when Bijan needs the load taken off of him.
Bro,
I'm about to walk out the room, bro.
Dude, it's just how the NFL is with running backs. If they're going to be super loyal to a running back for it, like looking forward for the next 4 years,
I think you're focusing too hard on a running back right now when there's a lot of other things on that team.
Exactly. So why are we getting Michael? You just said what I said at the beginning. Why are we getting Michael Penix at 8?
All right,
you get a defensive pick. Like I said, Quinion Mitchell was a top 10 pick. He was a top 10
He's not
pick.
turning around their whole entire team though.
Get a
on
tackle.
defense.
But that's what I'm saying.
A
Like
quarterback,
they need
if Michael Penix is a franchise quarterback, then he can turn the organization around. That's why I
But
said
who
if the
says that he's a franchise quarterback?
time will tell.
And if it doesn't, then what? Then what?
Then it was
what
a
are we
bad
looking
pick.
at?
Bad picks happen
So then
all the
what are
time.
we looking at? That's what I'm saying.
I'm
As
just
the
saying
head
it's
coach,
not as bad as people make it seem if it works out properly.
But listen,
The NFL draft is all ifs.
listen.
It's all ifs.
I understand that. So as a first year head coach, you go out there and you make this big risk. The GM, the owner walked up to him. He was like, "Bro, what are you doing right now?" He had to explain himself. So he goes out here and this pick flops. Michael Penix, maybe 2-3 years. He goes in there, he plays, he's starting, and he sucks. Now what are we looking at? Are we looking at getting a new head coach? Because what is he doing? Now we're still.
It happens all the
Six.
time.
That's the NFL
That's-
though. Dom.
We're still a
that's the NFL.
6 to 8 win team, and we're not doing anything because we got
could
Michael
say that
Penix.
about 4,000 picks about the Browns and the quarterbacks that they've taken.
Like
the Browns. This is not the Falcons. The Falcons are not
the
the same
Falcons?
thing as
Why
the
is he
Browns.
acting like the Falcons or the Patriots or something right now?
No. But the Falcons, they contend every
I'm
like
just-
3-4 years.
I just threw the Browns out there because they're a good example
They
of
suck.
But that's just how the NFL draft works.
you got to take risks.
You take risks, you reach, and sometimes your investment plays out. A lot of times it doesn't. We'll see what happens.
That's why some teams are so bad for so long, and then
because they
end up becoming good.
draft safe way too long.
And then look at the Texans. They got there, they draft a few picks, and then they finally build the right team.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I just think it was early. They could have done a quarterback next
No,
year.
I think they could have gotten a quarterback next year, but I'm just saying I do not think the pick is horrible as people make it seem. But
It was still the worst pick in the first round, though.
it was the worst pick in the first round.
Yes. Out of
You
all the
think-
teams I picked in the first round, that was still the worst pick.
All right, if the Falcons had the 15th pick and they took Michael Penix, would it still be the worst
No.
pick? All right.
But that's what I'm saying. They could have got
Conversation's
so much
over.
more
Conversation's
value
over.
off of that pick.
Who would you have drafted at 8? Tell
Give
me.
me 3 players right now.
It's not even who I would have drafted at 8. If they wanted to go if they wanted to go Penix, trade back. Trade back to 11, trade back to 12. The 8 is a valuable pick. I don't think you understand. People will trade up for an 8th overall
Trade
pick.
up to get him.
Yes. If there was anybody that the Raiders, if the Raiders probably would have traded up to 8 and they
do
probably
you
would have
think
drafted him.
Do you think the Falcons wanted Michael Penix or they wanted a quarterback?
I think it was both.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So if they let Michael Penix fall and they still get,
They can't
I mean,
take that risk though. That's the
they
that's
can't,
the
but
risk
that's the
of
thing.
draft.
They can. The Raiders can't take that risk. The Falcons can take that risk.
There's 3 other teams that wanted a quarterback behind them. I know the Vikings were already most likely set on JJ McCarthy.
Because Vikings pick what?
10.
Right.
They traded up. But
And
I'm just
or the
saying,
Vikings, they take that number 8 pick and they go get Michael Penix.
What if they trade back with the Vikings? Why didn't? Oh yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's 3 other teams. There's the Raiders, there's the Broncos, and then there's the Vikings that all could have traded up. That's why they run that risk if they trade back.
That's why you have to take him at 8. Or if you try, or like I said before, you either have to take whoever you want at 8. Which who can they take at 8 that's going to change the team? Nobody. Dallas Turner was mocked there. Would Dallas Turner change the team? No.
Their team is just in a weird.
And then you have to
phase
trade
where
back up to 10 to
their
get
team
Mike.
is
It's
just
not
in
happening.
a weird situation where they don't. There's not a huge hole unless it's on the defense, and it just happened to be that the picks on defense weren't flying off the board early. That's
The
what
Falcons, I understand you signed Kirk Cousins with the hope of we're going to take this weak division and we're going to try to go and make a run at the playoffs. But and as far as terms of contention as a whole, it was really no point. It was really no point. The Falcons are never going to contend as a whole.
All right.
It's going to
Whatever, let's
take one.
move
It's
on. I
going
don't
to
wanna
take
talk
1 to
about
2
the
years
Falcons. They're
for
not
them to
gonna do
really piece
anything.
everything together. They're not true contenders right now. No matter who they pick at that spot, they're not true contenders right now.
Kirk could get injured too.
Yes.
Anybody could get injured.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying Kirk is more injury prone than quite a few other quarterbacks.
I guess.
You never answered though. Who would you have picked at 8?
That would have changed.
I told
the
you
team.
I had to trade back.
And then who would you have picked?
I'd either moved up in the second round or got another future first round pick. That's what I'm saying. They're in rebuild. And then I would have traded. I don't know where I would have traded back, but I would have went somewhere defense. I would have traded back to when the defensive picks would have started going. and I would have picked a defense.
How do you know when the defensive picks are going?
When people start picking defense.
Yeah, but you can't make that decision up on the fly.
Because you never, once you start trading around, that changes everybody's draft board, basically. Almost everybody's draft board, basically. You never know what can happen.
I like some of the corners that were coming out, and I feel like they could have done good with a corner. There was a lot of, I mean, Terry and Arnold fell to 20, whatever.
That's not even really a fall. That's about where he was going to get drafted.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of when the defensive players got drafted, I think he got drafted in the right order. But why did it take so long for defensive players to even get drafted? That's what I'm saying. If you were a team that needed defensive players this draft, you won.
Terry and Arnold was not going inside top 20.
Not before.
I could have seen between 15 and 20, but he was never going to go top 15.
No. I mean, the first 14 picks were offense.
What does that tell you?
What does that tell you? Everybody needed quarterbacks and tackles.
It's an offensive league now, man.
Everybody needed quarterbacks, tackles, and receivers. And it was just a deep class for that.
What's the Steelers' record going to be?
What's the Steelers' record going to be? I don't know, bro. Steelers stressing me out. I see Steelers fans talk about, we're all in this year. Are we? Are we all in with Russell Wilson? I think Russ has a chance of being good, but I don't know.
Do we like the Ricky Pearsall pick?
Yes, I love Ricky Pearsall.
I think they're banking on the fact that they let one of those two guys go.
And I can't wait to see Debo Samuels or Brandon Aiyuk in the Steelers.
That's never happening. I promise.
Did you say and?
I said or.
Oh, I was gonna
that's not happening. I can tell you that right now.
Why?
But no, Ricky Pearsall pick.
We have 20 M's in the bank account right now.
Ricky Pearsall pick. I think that was a pretty good pick, in all honesty. But we'll see what happens.
We can't get them at all.
We'll see what happens. 49. I saw a lot of 49ers faithful. 49ers faithful. Really why did we do that? We could have got him in the third, some round.
What?
That may be true.
He might have been able to get him in
that
early second.
That may be true. You never know how things can play out, but
that's the risk of the draft.
Yeah, that's the risk of the draft. But I think they got. I think they got the player they needed. I think they got the player they needed. Especially for Kyle Shanahan's system, I think they got the player they need.
He's like a Jawan. He's like the next level up from Jawan Jennings almost. He's like what they want.
He's between Jawan Jennings and Debo.
Jawan Jennings and Brandon Aiyuk. I think his ceiling is way higher than what Debo's is. I don't like.
Debatable.
You think so?
Are you acting like Debo trash right now?
No. I think he's just a very scheme receiver. If he's not somewhere.
Debo is?
Yes.
Uh-oh. But you want him in the black and gold.
I think he could be scheme duo in the black and gold.
With Arthur Smith?
Yeah. I think Debo,
Arthur Smith?
Debo, he does so well with the 49ers because he gets to go in the backfield and stuff like that.
He has not been in the backfield as much recently.
But he gets to go to the backfield. He gets to be like a gadget guy half the time.
He's not as much of a gadget as that year he was All-Pro. He's not as much anymore.
Is he All-Pro anymore?
He's better.
That's not the reason why he fell off.
That's not the.
What does that tell you?
Did you see him against the Eagles? That looked like an All-Pro receiver.
What does that tell you?
I
didn't say that he was bad. When did those words ever come out of my mouth?
The only thing that's holding Debo back is injuries. Nothing has to do with his ability of play.
Is he All-Pro?
Right now, no.
Right now, no.
Okay.
So what's your point?
I just think that he's going closer to a decline than.
But his ceiling is All-Pro.
But
That's
I
the
think
thing.
he's going away from his ceiling. Like he's not gonna hit that ceiling.
I can understand that, but we're not. When I say that Ricky Pearsall is in between Debo Samuel and Jawan Jennings, and you say, "Oh no, it's Brandon Aiyuk." Like Brandon Ayuk's like a million steps above Debo.
I think he's got a good step or two above Debo. Brandon Ayuk's routes are clean. He's quick. He's super athletic, and I mean they're different receivers and they offer different things. But I like Brandon Ayuk's ceiling, and I don't know.
He likes Brandon Aiyuk's ceiling a lot higher because Brandon Aiyuk's contract is expiring and he wants him on the Steelers.
I didn't say that.
That's exactly why.
Never said that. I've seen.
I think
Ayuk
they're 1A, they're 1A and 1B on their team for a reason.
Yeah,
they're not. The gap is not huge between Debo and Brandon Aiyuk. Both are great receivers in their own right, but the gap is not huge.
Like you're telling me, if I throw someone like Aiyuk on like a team that needs a wide receiver one versus Debo as a wide receiver one. You're saying Aiyuk's going to be more successful.
Yes.
By a large margin?
Yes. Because he's a good. I don't know. I don't know why you guys. I don't know how to make you guys see it in the way that I see it. I just think that like put both of them on the Bills right now, or put them on the Chargers right now. Who's going to do better? Put both of them on the Chargers. Obviously, like not at the same time, but like you put Brandon Aiyuk on the Chargers.
I think Brandon Aiyuk will do better at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
But by a large margin.
No, I mean, no.
Absurd.
But what do you expect from Debo Samuels when it comes to route runnings? Like, what is he gonna do best on down the field?
Debo doesn't run bad routes.
I didn't say he runs bad routes, but they're not clean like Brandon Aiyuk's. Brandon Aiyuk's is arguably a top 10 to 5.
Well, that's what we're saying.
Route runner in the league.
He's progressing in age, and two, his injuries are.
I've seen Debo take over some football games too, though.
I've seen Brandon Aiyuk take over some football games.
Take over?
Oh, he had 3 touchdowns on us week 1 last season. Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
I saw
Steelers
it
fan.
I saw it, but that's what I'm saying. You asked me when have I seen it?
First game of the year when you guys were at your absolute worst. I've seen Debo. I'm not taking away from Brandon Aiyuk in the slightest, but I've seen Debo take over more football games than I've seen Brandon Aiyuk take over football games.
I'm just saying, and Brandon Aiyuk's football is more entertaining to watch too.
You don't believe that?
I think, but okay, currently, that last season, yes. But when they were scheming him in the backfield a lot and stuff like that, no, Debo was a lot more fun to watch.
When they played the Eagles,
you're bringing up one game that I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm just saying that's more entertaining than what's it called? Brandon Aiyuk's more entertaining than that.
Yeah, when Brandon Aiyuk is scoring 3 touchdowns in a game, yeah, absolutely.
But Brock Purdy was also putting them balls in good spots.
He was.
Like, Debo, he's catching the ball right here, 60, 70 yards to the crib. It's a truck, stiff arm, like, come on.
You're just making it.
I don't hate either.
Because you're saying, like, it's more entertaining.
Who's more likely to hit their head on the goalpost? Brandon Aiyuk or Debo Samuel?
What do you mean by that?
Who's more...
Hit your head on the goalpost?
Score a touchdown. Are you serious?
Have you ever heard somebody say that? Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you guys, bro,
y'all trying to make me seem like
y'all got to start playing football, man. Y'all got to start playing football.
Hit your head on a goalpost.
The fact that the two of you have never heard that.
That sounds like you're asking like vertical.
The fact that the two of you, bro, these two non-athletes sitting next to me, I can't do it no more.
All right. Nobody's heard that before.
Nobody's heard that before. I can't wait to make this a real.
Hit your head on the goalpost.
Who's more likely to score a touchdown from anywhere on the field, Debo Samuel or Brandon Aiyuk?
Here's my thing. I just feel like Debo Samuels isn't as valuable as a deep threat as Brandon Aiyuk is.
But
he can get down there, but it's off of short and medium routes. Like, it's not like he's running down the field. He's not burning you down the field. He's not running a better route than your defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard work football, and I think Debo fits, like, in terms of the Steelers, I think that brand of football fits the Steelers well. That's why I don't dislike him coming to the Steelers. I just like Brandon Aiyuk football, and I like what he would bring with the people we already have.
So Brandon Aiyuk's only a deep threat?
I didn't say that.
That's what it sounds like.
I said he's a very valuable deep threat. I like his short route running too a lot.
But when he catches those short routes, is there any chance he takes it for a touchdown?
Who, Debo or Brandon Aiyuk?
You know who I'm talking about, Brandon Aiyuk. Is there any chance?
Yeah.
Stop talking.
There's no chance Brandon Aiyuk takes it for a touchdown?
Stop talking. Brandon Aiyuk, 10-yard curl.
He's not.
In the chest, turn around, score.
No.
What's the chances?
Why can't he?
What's the chances of it happening?
He didn't say he can't. He's just asking.
What are the chances?
And probably a little
5%.
bit less than what's it called? But that separation on the top of that curl is going to be crispy. That's
a little bit less.
A little bit.
That separation can be nice.
That's why it's not crazy, because once he gets that separation, he gets time to turn around and look at it.
Once he gets the time to turn around, a foot, 3 feet, 5 feet in the NFL closes like that. Literally half a second. What are you talking about? So did you guys see what happened with Colorado and the player that transferred to UTEP? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he says, you didn't get to know me. This is insane. You destroyed my confidence. Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you really think that's something to actually care about? Or is it like, oh, they're not running a good program or anything like that? They don't care about players.
It's the same thing you see with like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe there was something on his side. And yeah, sure, there's maybe something on Deion's side that they both could have done better. Both sides could have done better. But my thing is that when people see something like someone that successful or something like that, there's always a narrative of like, oh, let me get on him.
Yeah.
Because why not?
My thing with my bad for interrupting. My thing with it is the only problem I saw with it. I didn't see anything abnormal from Deion not knowing this kid. I didn't see anything abnormal from that. But Shador should not have said what he said.
Yeah,
let's get that out the way.
That was over.
Shador would not have said what he said, especially dude, you're a quarterback and you want to be high in the next year. Yeah, you want to be high in next year's draft. If there's anything you cannot do as a quarterback, you cannot tear down any player, because if you're the quarterback of the team, like you're supposed to know everybody's name. You're supposed to know who everybody is. You're supposed to like everybody. Everybody's supposed to like you, because if they didn't, yes, you're the leader. Yeah. But as far as Deion not knowing him, no, that didn't surprise me at all. People overreacted that entirely, because college football, sports in general after high school, if you're not one of the top players, you're not going to have a great relationship with the head coach. You're probably not going to. It's not like the head coach isn't going to care about your well-being. Obviously, but especially college football, you have every D1 roster. It's like 115 to 130 players. If you're not producing, because college football, we'll say outside of the March Madness, college football is probably the biggest market when it comes to college sports, right?
Yeah.
This is a business. Yeah. These coaches, like I said, they'll care about your well-being, but at the end of the day, it's about producing. If you're not one of the top guys, I'm not going to say it's right, but it's reality. The head coach is most likely not going to be cool with you. And it's kind of like that. No matter where you go, like, you're going to see favoritism. You're going to see coaches. Like I said, they'll care about your well-being at surface level. But most of the time, you're going to see kids be cool with their position coach. Especially when you're like the 7th, 8th middle of the depth chart, they're going to be a lot cooler with the position coach than it is the head coach. It's not. I'm not saying it's right, but it's just reality. That's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's sides to the story, but I also feel like Deion's going to be Deion at the end of the day, and you're going to be who you are at the end of the day.
But it's just not abnormal in the slightest for a head coach not to know one of the guys that's deep in the depth chart. Like, probably anywhere you go.
Was it him that was it Deion that tweeted on, like, did you see like the picture of his stat line?
No, that wasn't him. It was another guy that was in the replies to that. Okay. But no, that's not as abnormal as people think. I promise you, the 8th guy at Ohio State right now, him and Ryan Day don't have a great relationship.
Yeah.
That every single school, they do not have a good relationship. That's just how it works. That's how college sports work. Yeah. The head coach is majority of the time. It would be different if he didn't know your name, if he had no idea who you were. Yeah. But no, the head coach is not going to be cool with you majority of the time when you don't play that.
And like you said, at the end of the day, he's just out there to get production.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And there's 130 dudes on this football team, more than likely. Because I assume that Colorado keeps their roster at full before the portal happens. Yeah.
I mean, it's a popular place to be right now. So.
Yeah. Like, not alarming to me in the slightest. Like, people blew that way out of proportion. And people are like, your ability to play football should not equate to the amount of human decency you get. But that's just how it is at college. Yeah, that's how it is at college with college sports. Yeah. Like I said, it's not right, but it's reality. Let me say that one last time. It's not right, but it's reality. Because people, for some reason, I don't know why people can't understand basic things in a video, because I guarantee there's going to be somebody in the comments like, this guy's an idiot. The head coach should know and love every single player on the team. Why would he say, like, no, this is a business. This is how most team environments work.
That's how a lot of the environments work.
It's literally like that almost across the world. Like, the dude, the intern that brings coffee at the major company, you think the boss loves him? You think the boss, like, come on now, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Just overreacting, but also, like, he knows that he can get a spotlight put on him for saying this stuff because Colorado's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably just trying to bring light to his name and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're a grown man. You're going to be all right.
And him talking about, like, him destroying dude's confidence. Dude, people's confidence gets destroyed at every single school.
He plays corner, right?
Yeah.
You went to Deion Sanders, the greatest, like, arguably the greatest corner to ever play in NFL history, and expected him to be nice to you.
Yeah.
When you, like,
and it's like college. If you want somebody to absolutely build your confidence up, college football is the last place you want to go. Dude, and just in general,
Deion
like,
talks to Cormani like he hates him.
Like, we're not even going to do that. Cormani, that's a whole different story.
Not Cormani. What's his other son?
Shiloh.
Shiloh. Yes, he talks to Shiloh crazy all the time.
I can't tell you how many dudes when I was at college playing football and stuff, how many dudes left in the middle of the night. Like, dude, just because coaches said the wrong things to him, they didn't like this, they didn't like that. Like, dude's confidence gets destroyed all the time. You're the best player at your high school. You're the best player in your city, whatever. You go to college, every single dude is the best player at the high school, everything like that. Like, your confidence is going to get destroyed. It's going to get challenged no matter what.
All I have to say,
like, and these coaches, coaches will say, Debo, I can't, I'm not going to share the things I heard when I was at a D2 school, let alone a Power 5 school. But coaches are never going to say anything. Unless they really see the work you put in. I'm not going to say they never give you any type of confidence or anything like that. But when they're trying to motivate you, they're going to say some things that are really going to hurt your feelings. Yeah. That's just how it is. But go ahead, Cale.
I was just going to say, the last thing I got to say is just go watch the Urban Meyer doc on Netflix.
Yeah.
If you think that stuff is bad that's going on between Dion and this guy, just go watch the Urban Meyer doc on Netflix.
And since Donovan did mention Cormani McClain, last thing, we'll give him maybe 2 minutes. As far as Cormani goes, I don't see how anybody sees it as anything other than this is all Cormani's doing. How this entire situation unfolded.
It just sounds like he didn't want to play. Like he just want to be lazy a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know the full backstory, so I won't.
I mean, it's basically been confirmed that he didn't go to meetings, he didn't go to practice, he didn't go to school. Yeah. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you're not doing any of those things?
Yeah.
So it's on him. And I mean, if majority, because me and Cormani are the same age, I'm not going to try to unk him or dad him or anything like that. But just a lesson I've learned just as I've grown up, I'm not old or anything like that. But bruh, if majority of people are telling you it's on you, you really just got to look inside and look at yourself and realize I do have to.
Maybe I got some work to do.
Yeah, I got some work to do. I got to fix some things. Because if the majority of people not hating on you, bro.
Yeah.
They really being honest with you.
Yeah, just discipline.
Yeah. And if Dion is saying we wish him the best and we just hope that a team truly takes care of him, that tells you Cormani
something
he doesn't have anything against you. He truly wants to see you progress.
Yeah.
But hey man, like I said, I ain't gonna try to unk him bro, we the same age.
That's great. But yeah. We ended it there?
Yeah, man. W episode. Keep it in the act, episode, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Continue to grow, continue, like and subscribe, tell your friends and family.
Make sure, emphasis on the subscribing, man. We've been growing crazy on Instagram, but we got to make sure you're getting y'all over to YouTube, to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so that y'all checking our podcast out on there, because that's what helps us the most at the end of the day.
Share. Yes. You see anything if we say something that sounds ridiculous and you hate it, send it to your best friend. Y'all both can clown us. Hate comments. It don't matter. Do it.
We love the feedback, man. Yeah. We love seeing people enjoy our stuff or hate our stuff. At the end of the day, we got people talking. So
yeah,
that's the best part. So thanks for tuning in and keep it in the act.
We appreciate Cale for finally returning, man.
Yes, sir. Good to be with you guys.